went to college in Maine. I went to Bates College. It's a small liberal arts school in Lewiston. I always was interested in owning my own business. I don't know. My mom was in corporate America for 30 years and basically was like, you should never go into corporate America. It's not a good scene right now. It's not really where you want to be. The beer scene in Maine's really good, so I got really into craft beer. I worked at Magnify Brewing Company while I was there, which is, I don't know, a 5-minute drive from Bates. So that was a really good experience just being there. And the really cool thing about Portland, Maine is that a lot of the restaurants there source locally and deal with, local farms. And same thing with, for beer. So the food's local, the beer's local. So a lot of the beer comes, from a few miles away. There's so many world-class breweries in Portland, Maine that it's such a cool scene. There's always something happening. And then, coming home to northern New Jersey, there's just not a lot. I want to bring a little bit of that Maine craft beer culture to where I'm from. So I'm from northern New Jersey, and I want it to be the best brewery in northern New Jersey. So you mentioned my age, so I am 23. Youth is not a bad thing. So, and our brewer is young too. We just turned 30. So, it makes it, I don't know, we're more creative, I think, than your average brewery out there, and some of the stuff that we have planned for the next month, 2 months, 3 months, and years down the road is really, really exciting and very different. So I think that youth is honestly a good thing for us. I think it's cool when stuff doesn't travel across the country. There's nothing wrong with, getting a beer in New Jersey from California or wherever, across the country, but there's something to be said when it travels, a mile down the road. Like, we're in a few places that are literally less than a mile from us, which is so cool. We donate all of our grain to a cattle farmer, so that kind of helped us get into, having some farming connections. And then he got us in touch with his friend who is an apiary, so we got honey for our pollinator IPA. And then he also got us in touch with one of his other friends who is a peach grower, and she gave us 650 pounds for our 30 hours, which is an Imperial Pale Ale, 650 pounds of peaches. So, we try to source whenever possible. Some things we don't, but, when we can, we will. So he was out in California and looking to move back east. So we got on touch on Pro Brewer and sent me his resume, and I, we had a few conversations. We actually met when he was back for, I think, a wedding, and he was in Philly, so we met up, kind of clicked, and he also had a really, really good resume and has been brewing for 5 years at, pretty big name places that people recognize if you know beer. So, worked out, and he's making some pretty kick-ass beer right now. So, there's a lot of breweries opening up now, I think we all know that. There's a lot of really small places opening up, and then there's a lot of huge places opening up. A lot of the reviews that we see on, Yelp or Facebook or whatever, like the fact that, I'm here in the tasting room. I work all the time, but every transaction goes through me, so people like that I own it, and, every time a bar orders, it's going right through me. People like that my dad delivers, so, it gives a little bit more service than just here's some random delivery guy who doesn't care at all. And then, my mom helps out also, so she just retired. It kind of worked out timing-wise really, really perfectly when we opened, so she does a lot more of, cash flow, kind of going to the bank, depositing checks, and she helps out in the tasting room too. I don't think it was specifically when I drank a beer. I know everybody has that, but I don't think that epiphany was when I drank a beer. But I think, honestly, going to all these local breweries in Portland, Maine. So there's a few that stick in my mind that are you just walk in, you're like, this is awesome, and you're like, I want to build something that's just like this. So there's Oxbow, which is up in Newcastle, which is basically in the middle of nowhere, 45 minutes off of a highway in winding roads in Newcastle, Maine. But it's the atmosphere is awesome. It's just so cool. The beer is awesome. You're like, this is, even being out in the middle of nowhere, they're going to be so successful because what they're doing is so genuine and just so cool. I guess our plans for the next few months, and basically, as I see it, is we have the 4-year-round beers. We do the limited releases every, I guess it's been 5 or 6 weeks or so. Those kind of bigger 20-barrel limited release batches every 5 to 6 weeks or so. So we have it here for a little while. We send it out. Once it's done, it's done. The bottles, that is kind of on an ongoing basis. Those are more for barrel-aged beers or bigger beers, or like our Brett Saison that was aged for 5 months. We're doing a stout that we fermented with Italian red wine yeast, so it's almost like a stout wine hybrid. That is not barrel-aged, but we've been aging it since June. So that kind of stuff, we don't really have a schedule for that. It's more like when it's ready. So we have some other stuff in barrels right now, and it's just a matter of time. But yeah, the plan is to do bottles. I think that's what makes it fun. So we're gonna keep doing the bottle releases, and then the plan is to can in a short while. I think we'll sell most out of here, but I do believe that we will sell some to liquor stores. That's the plan at least, but who knows, if we sell out then we won't. So we gotta see how it goes. There's a lot of unknowns. So we're super excited to start canning, so that'll be good.